So our service to children and young people starts right from the beginning of when someone is diagnosed, and we can help families talk about the diagnosis to their children, use language that they understand, ways to tell them in a calm environment. We then have lots of different things that we can do past that original emotional type support. We have a dedicated counselling service. There is a proportion of young people who are in crisis and they're struggling, and to access local authority counselling is too long. So being able to access trained therapists in a time convenient for them, knowing that they get what MND is doing to their family, just creates a really lovely safe space for them to explore their fears, their worries, and it's having a real positive effect. The memory boxes were brought about because one young person asked what was Daddy's favourite ice cream. And although the family knew the answer, they could never ask Daddy what his favourite ice cream was. And actually they said that of all the things that had happened to them along their MND diagnosis, not being able to ask that single question for their young daughter really bothered them. What we did when we created these boxes was just wanted to give families the power to do it themselves, the power to use this box as a toolkit for creating memories, but to keep relationships, because what we sometimes find is that children will bypass the parent or the grandparent with MND, where the box actually actively encourages them to talk to their loved ones still, to find out funny stories and find out little bits of information. MND can be actually quite isolating disease, and especially when you're a younger family and you maybe can't access traditional support groups, or you don't feel that anyone understands what you're going through. So the memory making events that we run were designed because I wanted to connect families with each other. We do it never in isolation. We work with local branches and groups, we work with local hospices, we work with local volunteers, making sure they were safe to be there, allowed people with MND just a time to feel like parents and or grandparents again and see their kids smile. And we all come together just to create a really fun event for children and young people. Just because a person with MND has been diagnosed doesn't mean they're not a parent anymore, or they're not a grandparent anymore. All of the Children, Young People and Families project is funded, so all of our money comes from people out in the community who are fundraising daily to provide the service that we do. I never take for granted what we're able to support for families, but ultimately there does come a cost with the services that are involved, and fundraising for our Children and Young People's programme not only makes a difference to the children and young people, but it makes an enormous difference to the person with MND.